so good as breakfast with Christ on the shore. Breakfast will never be better than this, than breakfast with my risen Lord. After an evening of fishing gone bad, Peter and crew felt dismayed. Then seeing a man on the shore up ahead changed everything that fateful day. Friends, have you caught?
Welcome to our podcast, Come Have Breakfast. I'm joined with one of our missionaries, Jen Crouthamel. And Jen, you're with Victory 127. And can you just tell us a little bit about this mission, Victory 127?
Sure, yes. So Victory 127 is a mission that was founded right here in Central Virginia in 2013. Our efforts are focused in the slums outside of Kampala, Uganda. And our mission is to provide food and shelter and education for children and families in need. So sponsorship is the heart and soul of our ministry. We are currently sponsoring 147 kids.
Wow.
And so those are kids that we've gotten off the streets and into schools where they will then have an opportunity to succeed. We also have several other arms of our ministry, our Rice and Beans Fund, where whatever comes into that in the course of a month we send for food. Our construction fund, where we've been building some very exciting projects, a couple of floors for our Victory Primary School. We've built housing for our teachers, and just this year completed a boarding section for girls, and right now we are in the midst of building a boarding section for boys. So that's exciting. And then our Higher Education Scholarship Fund, through that we enable our kids to go on to vocational school or to college, whatever their desires and whatever their abilities allow them to do. So that's a little bit about our ministry. Our general fund, we do a lot of things through that. We buy Bibles for all of our kids. We provide for medical emergencies, rent for crisis families, lots of things that come out of our general fund too.
Wow. So there's quite a few different avenues that you use that you're ministering through. How have you seen God at work this past year in Victory 127?
Yes, we have seen God. We feel like that this ministry has given us a front row seat just to watch God work, because it's been pretty miraculous. He's done some incredible things, and in the midst of this pandemic, it's been a challenging time for everyone, but we have seen Him provide almost double the Rice and Beans funds to send that we had the year before. So with things being difficult for our people here as well, to be able to have that provision and then to be able to send it there and watch God multiply it has been pretty amazing. The construction projects I was just sharing with you, amazing that we were able to complete our boarding section for girls. That has been a huge blessing. He's just been working in so many ways in so many areas of our ministry. We're just incredibly grateful. It seems like we send our 5 loaves and 2 fish, and He just multiplies it in ways we can't even imagine. Even with our Rice and Beans Fund, I can tell you that not only our families have benefited, but we've had other pastors coming to Pastor Herbert and just asking for help because he knew that he had a source of help. So we've been able to help other bodies of believers as well with that. So that's been crucial, I would say, in the past year. Also, Pastor Herbert and Deborah have both battled COVID. So that was a tough battle, and they have come out on the other side of that, praise God. But in the course of a couple of weeks, we saw, I think Herbert lost 15 of his pastor friends in the course of 2 weeks, and his brother-in-law at the same time. So it has definitely impacted them in a big way.
So how would you say the pandemic, COVID-19, has kind of changed the way the ministry operated this year, or maybe has created new means of ministry? How have you seen it impact?
Yeah, so it hasn't changed things in the way we do things a lot, because we do everything through email communication, text, and then we wire funds to Uganda monthly. So we're really just the pipeline for God's provision. So for us, it hasn't changed a lot. But for our team in Uganda, it's changed everything. Because the lockdowns have been just so difficult. They have been, when you can't move around, because when lockdowns happen over there, there's no public transportation, which is all our families use. Nobody has a vehicle. Very few people have vehicles. So whatever food they find is what they find today. So if they can't move around, then they're not finding anything. They don't have pantries. They don't have refrigerators. You know, they have a small shack. Most of them live in a dirt floor, with a dirt floor. And so just the way they have been rising to the challenge of all that has been pretty incredible. And we've seen that even in our kids. You know, the thing about it, this pandemic has been so difficult. And the way it's closed the churches, because the churches are the center of these people's lives. They're there every day, studying, praying, encouraging each other. So not being able to be there has been so difficult. But we've seen God working in the midst of that in some incredible ways. Just a few quick examples for you. Our Shemaiah, who is our med student, she is working on the front lines in a hospital. You know, she's getting incredible training on the ground. We've had some of our teenage boys who couldn't be in person learning. They have been at Victory House working on the construction process, getting that type of education. So God has been doing some really pretty incredible things in the midst of such a hard time for them. And I don't think I can explain that to you as well as our Edith. We have one of our teen girls who has been with us from the beginning. Her name is Edith, and she wrote this letter to her sponsor a few months ago that I think will give you just a little glimpse into how the pandemic has changed things for them. This is to her sponsor, Danelle. This pandemic has changed many things. Some people have died, some have lost their jobs, and some have lost their loved ones. But I thank God that we are still together as a church. Even though people have faced a lot of challenges, I thank God that some of us have learned other activities. For example, I have learned to prepare meals like baking chapati and pancakes and samosas. I've also learned to share the little that I have with the needy, helping and teaching others to be patient and trust God, who is the answer to every question. God has done so many miracles. Even though we couldn't gather for church services, small groups and home cells have been introduced. We've been praying together from home, and this helps us to never forget God and his wonderful doings. I have not forgotten to pray for you too and your community. I love you so much. You are a good sister to me.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Our kids, the words of our kids have such an impact, and always just remind us, you know, of the importance of the work we're doing. These kids are brilliant, and they're thoughtful, and they're smart, they're kind, and they're doing some incredible things. And just watching them as they grow has been one of the greatest privileges of my life.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful. It's amazing to see that we have a creative God who finds creative ways to continue to do ministry.
Yes, exactly.
Even in spite of what we see as a tough time, he's still doing amazing work.
Right.
So what are some ways we as a church can further assist the work that you're doing?
You know, thank you so much for asking that. That is a great question. And let me first say that the partnership of Lake of the Woods with our ministry has had a huge impact on our ministry, and we're so grateful. I mean, you as a church are sponsoring 7 children. So we have Precious and Praise and Judith and Pius and Hawa that the church sponsors. Then the Kids Club sponsors Samuel and Elizabeth. So those 7 lives are being directly impacted by what you're doing, and we're so grateful. But yes, the church, you know, we're always looking for ways to spread the word, to get more people involved in the ministry, both churches and individuals, because we could definitely use help with our Rice and Beans Fund. That has become a lifeline for many people in the midst of this pandemic. Our construction fund, we would love to be able to finish our 2nd floor of, our 3rd floor actually of Victory House, which is our 2nd boarding section. And that's for boys. We'd love to be able to finish that in the next few months. So you could help us with that. Our scholarship fund, which takes our kids on to vocational school and college. That's another place for people to get involved. We actually launched a new website just last year, v127.org it is, and there's so much information on there. So I would encourage everyone to go onto the website and see, what are all of the arms of the ministry and ways that they would like to come and join us.
What would you like to share with our church? Do you have anything that Lord's laid on your heart that you would like to share with our church family?
Just how grateful we are for your prayers. That would probably be the biggest thing. Thank you for praying. We have on our resources page of our website, we have a place where you can go and print out a copy of every child that we sponsor. So, some people print that out and pray for them by name, and what a blessing that is. Prayer for our team in Uganda, just for strength and courage as they face, they've always been working in very difficult situations, but even more so in the last year and a half. So prayer for them, and just their encouragement as they minister, because they're doing some amazing things on the ground there. Would really just ask you to pray for us as a ministry team, that we would just overflow with joy and optimism and enthusiasm, wisdom and integrity as we steward this ministry, and as we then share it with others as we move forward. We need wisdom in every single area of the ministry here and there. So I think the greatest thing is just your prayers. It means so much. I did have a couple of verses that I wanted to share with you that have just been so impactful. For me, as I lead this ministry, God is so faithful, and I can tell you whatever challenge you're facing, you can trust Him, because God is there. He knows, He loves you, and He is always working on our behalf. Psalm 33, verses 18 through 22 say, "But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear Him, on those whose hope is in His unfailing love, to deliver them from death and to keep them alive in famine. We wait in hope for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In Him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in His holy name. May your unfailing love rest upon us, O Lord, even as we put our hope in you."
That's beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Jen, for taking time to talk with us, and it's been a great partnering, Lake of the Woods and Victory 127 being able to partner for so many years, and we're so thankful for the work you're doing. We will be praying for you, and I want to encourage our viewers, please get involved, pray for Victory to 127, and find ways you can get involved. Log on to the website. The URL is attached to this video. Log on to their website, pray for them, find ways you can be a part of the work. God's doing a mighty work, and we are so thankful that He's allowing us to be able to partner with you and be a part of that.
Thank you. We're so thankful.
Well, thank you so much.
Breakfast will never be better than breakfast with my risen Lord. After an evening of fishing gone bad, Peter and crew felt dismayed. Then seeing a man on the shore up ahead changed everything